Welcome to News and Insight Lab. Today's global hot news on August 6, 2025. A special envoy for President Donald Trump is set to visit Moscow, drawing international attention amid rising tensions between the United States and Russia. This situation is seen as a key factor in the heightened nuclear threat rhetoric from both countries. On top of the ongoing war in Ukraine, Trump's special envoy heads to Moscow. Steve Witkoff, President Trump's special envoy, is scheduled to arrive in Moscow today. The visit comes just 2 days before Trump's self-imposed deadline of August 8th, when he is expected to demand a ceasefire in the Ukraine war. The meeting was arranged on an urgent basis. Nuclear threats on the rise. The rhetoric between President Trump and former Russian President Dmitry Medvedev, now deputy chairman of Russia's Security Council, has intensified dramatically. In response to what Trump called highly provocative statements from Medvedev, he ordered the deployment of 2 nuclear submarines to what he described as appropriate locations. Russia suspends compliance with missile treaty. Russia has announced it will suspend its compliance with the INF Treaty, a key arms control agreement in place for decades. The Kremlin cited U.S. missile deployments in Europe and other regions as a direct threat to Russian security. Experts warn this could mark the beginning of a new arms race. What's especially alarming is the escalating nuclear posturing. As key Cold War-era arms control agreements continue to unravel, the risk of real military confrontation is no longer just theoretical. It's becoming dangerously tangible. Impact 1. Escalating geopolitical tensions. Military tensions between the U.S. and Russia are deepening instability across Europe and the broader global landscape. The potential redeployment of intermediate-range missiles has revived fears reminiscent of the European missile crisis of the 1980s, with NATO-Russia relations hanging in the balance. 2. Collapse of arms control frameworks. As arms control treaties between Washington and Moscow become increasingly irrelevant, the threat of nuclear proliferation and arms racing grows. Confidence in the global non-proliferation regime is eroding, and the specter of nuclear conflict looms larger than ever. Outlook. President Trump's August 8th ceasefire deadline is fast approaching, but the likelihood of President Putin conceding remains slim. While Trump is positioning himself as a peace negotiator, Putin appears intent on maintaining leverage and is unlikely to bow to U.S. pressure. This could lead to a new wave of U.S. sanctions against Russia, further souring relations and intensifying global tensions. Whether Witkoff's visit to Moscow will yield any breakthrough remains uncertain, but for now, escalation seems more likely than resolution. In conclusion, August 6, 2025 may be remembered as a pivotal moment in U.S.-Russia relations. A day when rising nuclear tensions and failed diplomacy threatened not just bilateral ties, but the broader global order. This has been your 3-minute Global Hot News. Your like and subscription really help us keep creating meaningful content. Thank you!